All right, welcome everybody. I'd like to call the meeting to order. We're going to start with the salute to the flag, led by Nash. Comes right around. Can we get through okay? Okay, so we're gonna stand right. Let's go right like this. And here's the flag. You ready? Okay, I'll say it with you. All right, you ready? Okay. Put your hand right here, right? Okay. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, should we have your mom take a picture of you right here with everybody?
Okay, smile. Perfect.
All right,
Good job.
thank you.
Good job, Nash.
Thanks, good job. You're welcome to
Thanks,
come to
Nash.
any meetings that you want to.
Say thank you.
Thank you.
You're
Thanks,
welcome.
Ashley.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Bye.
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 Come here.
Roll call of members, please.
Trustee Champlain.
Here.
Trustee Malinsky.
Here.
Trustee Connor.
Here.
Trustee Herzog.
Here.
Mayor McFetrich.
Here. May I have a motion to approve the minutes of the previous meeting?
So moved.
Is there a second? Second. Any corrections? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions?
Abstention.
All right. Presentation of petitions, communications, and general question period for members of the community. As we have no one here, we will dispense with that. Report from the code enforcement officer. You have his December report, and then on the back you have his end of year report. The end of year report is interesting. He included the increases. So it's been pretty busy here. Does anyone have any questions that you want me to share with Chris?
Yeah, what's the questions regarding the old ARC building?
I think the question is, if it were to be purchased, what can it be used for?
It's gonna be a single family dwelling.
Well, I mean,
That's how unless there's a variance.
yeah, but my guess is that's what the code enforcement officer would be asked if we were to, if
Right.
someone was to purchase it. Can it be used for apartments or whatever? I don't know what the conversations have been, but that would be what he has been asked, I think.
Right.
And that would
They'd
have to go to the zoning board.
Right, yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I don't know any more about that.
Okay.
Any other questions?
I think Chris is doing a great job.
Yes, I agree. Chris is doing a great job. My report. Welcome to 2024 and greetings from the Village of Champlain Board of Trustees. So far, well, I wrote this last week. So far we have had a mild winter. I guess it's been a mild winter. Without much snow, except for now. But I do remind you of the parking ban on village streets between 2 a.m. and 6 a.m. Also, please remove your garbage cans from the sidewalks promptly after they are emptied. Our village crew does their best to keep the streets and walkways cleared, and items in the path of travel make it difficult to plow. I would also just like to offer a big shout out to Ben and Jen Huff for sharing their Holly Jolly lit up vehicle. They traveled all over the area with that, and they took 2 hours to go on all the village streets right before Christmas. It was a lot of fun, a lot of people out waving, and they handed out bags of treats for all the children. So thank you to them. That's great community spirit. I'd like to share a few of my goals for the upcoming year. This is more like a wish list. First, that the wastewater treatment plant upgrades will be finished and everything running smoothly. That the water line replacement project will begin and completed within the year, eliminating the numerous breaks we have dealt with over the past 6 years. that the 2 small parcels of donated land will be developed into pocket parks. Concerts, festivals, and other community gatherings will be held. Some vacant buildings will be rehabilitated or removed as is allowed by local law. And the last one is to continue our cooperation with the town of Champlain and our sister village of Rouse's Point to bring economic development and more opportunities for recreation, housing, and employment to all. I think those are all attainable on some level. If you have not taken the time to watch the winter video on the Town of Champlain website, please do. It is excellent. It's very, very well done. I do have an update about the dog that is running around the village. Well, I sort of have an update. Yes, it's a German Shepherd or part German Shepherd. It's been running loose for weeks or perhaps even a couple of months. The dog control officer is aware and he is trying to trap the dog, and has not succeeded yet, but we are aware of the problem, and I know that this dog is causing some problems running through people's yards and upsetting their pets, and so we are working on this. So back to my goals, I'm sure that they will not be all fully accomplished, but we'll continue to work to make the village an affordable, healthy, and enjoyable place to live. I always welcome your thoughts and concerns regarding the village of Champlain, and reach out to me anytime with your ideas. Happy New Year. Report from the trustees. Kim, do you want to start? And then I would ask you to address the water board report.
Okay.
Thank you.
So we'll have a meeting, shortly, with the rest of the water board, and moving forward, we've worked with Lanita, to do some changes on the O&M spreadsheet, which I think will be beneficial and maybe, I don't wanna say more transparent, because we all try to be as transparent as we can, but might eliminate so many questions at the end of the year that now you're trying to go back, you know, to the first quarter in June, and now we're, you know, the following November. So, we've done some changes on the or I should say Juanita's done some changes on the O&M spreadsheet, and I think that's gonna make it a lot better. There was an addendum that was done to the report, as there was last year, with some changes. And just a couple of sheets were resent out, the O&M being one of them, and I don't remember what the other sheet was, and I don't have it in front of me. So as soon as the town will look at theirs tomorrow night, they have their board meeting tomorrow night, so hopefully we'll get an approval letter from them. And we've already started working on the 2024 information. So we are into the second, well, actually, we're into the third quarter already of,
Right.
for the O&M. So, we're just keep plugging away on that.
Kim sent this out to all of you, the addendum. I'm hoping you had time to look it over. The request from that water board is that we give them our yay or nay or questions within 30 days, so it needs to be done at this board meeting, most likely. I'm just going to summarize a couple of things and add a couple of things, and then I'd ask you for your input. So the debt repayment for the village is $93,611.42. And that's a mathematical calculation. One of the recommendations from that board to the village board is that the village install a remote reader at the wastewater plant, and Mike Jolliker did tell me tonight that that has been installed. So that request has been,
That's awesome.
that's happened.
Did you say that was at the wastewater?
Wastewater, right. and this, the calibration of the well and distribution meters, I know this has come up before. I'm certainly no expert on this, but from what I've been told, it's extremely expensive, not maybe to calibrate them, but they have to be removed, and then others have to be replaced, and I'm not sure if that expense is worth it. I don't know, but I think that's something that,
And I think that was a question that was brought up by one of the water board members, in a meeting a while ago,
Yeah.
and I think we left it in
Left it
there
in there.
until we could,
I would suggest, if it can work, that Mike come and explain what that entails to the water board, because he understands this a lot better than I do. And then they might see that, you know, if it's, I'm just making this up, if it's $10,000, do you really wanna add 10,000 to the O&M?
right, right.
Right. I just
And is
wanna,
it really going to,
even if they're slightly off,
right,
would it justify that expense?
exactly.
It's just a question, is this the part that was the 2 meters that were like miscalibrated and they thought that it was making up some of the mismeasurements, or is this something different?
No, that is it, but, and we
Okay.
don't even know that they're miscalibrated,
Okay.
it just is a suspicion. But we are finding other places where there may be some lost water, so it might not be those meters at all. I don't know, but that would be my recommendation back to
Okay.
you.
And maybe that's, you know, when the board approves the letter to the water board, that can be a statement in the response.
Is the board going to be okay if I write that in that response? Okay. And then my only other question is on the capital purchases. I completely agree that if there are capital purchases, we need to inform the town and not just go out and spend a lot of money and not tell the town, but my question is, when it's an emergency, I don't think we have the time to reach out to the town and say, hey, we need to spend, you know, $9,000 on a new electrical panel. Could you guys meet and approve this?
Yeah.
So that's my other concern. Because it says that, let me read it here. This would require in writing a request from the village to the town agreeing to share the cost based on current EDU ratios. Well, there might not always be time to request in writing that the town meet.
Makes sense, you're sure.
Yeah, so that's my other part that I was a little uncertain about. Which I also could include in the letter if you want me to put that into, or I don't know, what are your thoughts?
I would. I mean, I'm gonna flip between water board and village board. As village board, and we know that we've had to have emergency purchases before for a lot of other things. I would say that if we do have some kind of major breakdown, that we are going to need the town to share the expense with us, that, you know, we can just shoot the town supervisor an email saying, hey, look, we had this that broke down, we have to do an emergency purchase, don't know what the cost is going to be, we can let you know as soon as possible. You know, if it was flipped the other way, they would have to do the same thing to us. You know, if it was them that was running the water plant and we were on the opposite side, it's hard to pull people together that quickly if you have an emergency.
Well, that's my concern, you can't always wait.
Right, I would think that just giving them a heads up, saying, look, we had this major problem, we have to do an emergency fix, we have to do an emergency purchase order. We can let you know as soon as it is, but we're just giving you a heads up now. To me, that would at least not blindside them when we send them a $20,000 invoice or
Yeah.
something, you know,
Yeah.
I'm just using that as an example.
All right.
That's my village board side.
Yeah, and that's how I'm feeling too.
Well, I think that's the way it has to be, because, you know, you don't know things, you know, in an emergency situation.
Yeah.
You have to react to it and, you know, let the town know, and just do what you gotta do.
Well, I think what this goes back to is when we did the generator. Because we didn't do it properly. The village didn't do it properly. We knew what the cost of the generator was going to be. And we never gave the town a heads up. So now that's a line item on our O&M spreadsheet being amortized over 20 years because we didn't do what we were supposed to do as a village.
I do think the original MOU did have a section on capital improvements though.
I believe it does.
Yeah, I think it always,
But I
I think
don't-
it always did.
I don't know what if there's a dollar amount in there. I
Yeah.
don't think there is.
Okay. Anything else that the rest of the board wants to discuss on this?
I think Kim's done a good job here,
Yeah.
Thank you.
thank you. It's a lot of work for you.
Yeah, it's a ton of work. It's a lot of work for Juanita too.
And Mary
And Mary too.
Mary has
Yeah.
her fair share of good
Yeah.
times.
A lot
We
of,
spread the wealth around on the good times here.
Yeah, a lot of data is collected. And as far as the fire district water usage, have you been getting that?
No. So what I end up doing is I try every quarter to email Woody and say, in this period of time, can you tell me what fires that we have used water for, and can you please give me a date? Cause I like to have a date, so I know that we're not looking at something that, oh, we already accounted for that in the last quarter, and your estimate of gallons.
Okay.
But they were supposed to be sending this to me after every fire, and that has not happened.
Okay, well, there was a fire last
Yeah.
Friday, so. Okay. I can, yeah, all right, I can kind of work on that a little bit. Anything else, recommendations? No? So I guess I need a motion to approve me writing the letter that you accept the report with the point about the calibration and the point about emergency purchases.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right, that motion carries. Thanks, Kim and Mary and Juanita. Nikki, we're still on that trustees
okay.
report. Yeah.
Okay, so I took some little judges on a ride and we did the, house decorating contest judging just before Christmas. And, I'm trying to pull up my names. The winner is Tom Ryan on the corner of Main and Pine. We were trying to hit every street and I specified which direction to go around that corner because if you went right by it, you would miss the whole thing, so. If you didn't get a chance to, you'll have to go around a certain way around those
Yeah.
corners. The second place is number 6 on Cherry Street. And I think last year that was one of the ones they were iffy about, and this year they're like, yep, we'll go with that one. And then the third place is, the Tuttles on Prospect Hill. They
Oh,
always go
yes.
out and
They do a lot.
they do a great job
Mhm.
up there, so they
Nice.
deserve a place this year.
All right, well, thank you.
You're
Yes,
welcome.
thank you.
We can invite them maybe to the next
Oh, yeah.
meeting and give them a prize, an award.
We can do that.
That's great.
And I don't have anything on my plate this month.
Good for you.
I'm not planning anything.
Nikki. Chuck?
Yeah, Jan and I had discussed a game day for February,
Mm-hmm.
and we're looking at February 18th, it's a Sunday. I'd say 2 o'clock, sound
Sounds
good?
good. Mm-hmm. Yep, that sounds good. I got some new games donated by the Office for the Aging, they look really cool, so come play some games, brand new.
Yeah, all's welcome. And I guess to go along with some goals that Janet had, I'd like to, if we can, get a head start on what we're gonna do with the garden this year. And I'd like to see that cleaned up and maybe have a better use as far as people having garden there or raised beds, that type of thing. So, and that's something we have to plan in advance for, not just wait till the last minute.
Is, just a question, is there any idea of like having some sort of link up with the farmer's market and the garden as well? Like having some sort of cross place that people even understand that it's there or like know that it's there?
That the garden's there?
Yeah. I know that they're in different spots, but would there be any way to somehow get people to venture on down the road just a little bit, see that if it's there? Like, I feel like if people are stopping by to buy fresh groceries, they might be interested in something like that going on.
Well,
I mean, it's just a thought,
It's probably has to be done, people started a garden well before the farmer's market starts
yeah,
up.
yeah.
So, and, I mean, it's kind of been, over the years, people are aware that the community garden is there. I just don't think people are interested, it's a lot of work.
Yeah, I don't really know, because we've had years where we have, 10 different
Yeah,
groups involved, and then we've had years where, well, last year it rained a lot.
It was wet.
it wasn't a good,
Yeah, and the weeds took
It was a
over,
washout.
yeah.
but
It
So our
was
garden
bad.
was,
and to go along with it, I'd like to see if we can clean up along the river there. It's such a nice view,
Yeah,
and you got all that overgrown stuff, whatever it is.
Japanese.
Japanese knotweed.
It's a nice place, we got that one bench there, but it's a nice place to just sit there and just
It's really nice.
be there. It's a great place near that
Removing
river.
that knotweed is a huge project.
Yeah, Lydia was telling us that.
Yeah, you would have to dig like 6 feet down, pull all the roots out,
Oh.
yeah. If you cut it down, it comes back and it
Oh, I
comes
know
back.
that,
It's worse
we
than
pulled it out before.
Um,
Yeah, very
And
invasive.
There's been suggestions of burning it, but still, you have to get the roots all the way down as far as they go. Chemicals, but because it's on the river.
Right, yeah, you don't
Yeah,
want
you
to do
can't
that.
DEC
do
won't
that.
let that happen.
and you can't have it in
Um,
the curb either.
There may be some kind of help through DEC, but I'm not sure in New York State how it is. I know I've read in other states that there is help to eradicate it, but it's a process, it's years of work. It's, yeah.
Maybe we
I've
can
done a
get a
lot of
little
reading.
section at least, like in front
Yeah.
of the bench,
Right,
so we
yeah.
can see the
Just-
river
just
there.
enough.
Well, there
Yeah.
was one, a couple of years ago, it was cleared right there, where you
There
could
was
It's
sit
a
for
small spot,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, one of the summer employees knocked it down with
Yeah.
like some kind of.
But I
heavy
know
duty
there's
weed
a
whacker.
lot of people go down to fish in that area,
Mhm.
near the park, garden.
Yeah.
That, make it a lot easier for them if we can clean that up somewhat.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, it's,
Yeah, we've been trying to bury it, it'll still make its way up.
Yeah,
but
it's
Yeah.
It's the
Weeds.
riverbank too, but,
Hmm.
yeah, it's a lot to think about in that.
Yeah,
We've talked about it many times.
yeah, well. And one other thing, I know we've discussed this for a couple of years now, at least. We got that couple pieces of playground equipment.
Oh,
yeah,
We need to get those in.
it's going in. I finally got the instructions.
Oh, we did?
Yes, yes, I finally got the instructions, so I
Okay.
don't know why I can't go in early spring.
That's all I have.
All right, thanks Chuck. Joel?
So I read the water report, glad it passed. Mind-boggling how complex it is and all the things that you guys are going through. So thank you for doing it. I feel like it's very thankless, and I don't think most people even know that it even exists. I guess like the biggest sum up is that, we're trying to get you the best quality product, the best water that we can at the cheapest price. And so far, we're hitting our goals, and that's the best we can do, and I think that's exactly what we're doing. So thank you for thank you for doing that. Like, even just reading through it is just mind-boggling, all the things that it looks like almost every drop of water is accounted for, and everyone's looking
We
for
try.
everything, and there's so much work that's going on behind the scenes that people might not think about, but it's happening, and there's a small group of people doing it, so thank you for doing it. And then just echoing what Janet said, I think the vacant properties, or the zombie properties in the village, I think would be a great thing for the board to look at and try and assess and find the best way to move forward with things of that nature and figure out a good plan for everyone if it exists, but
Yeah,
that would be nice.
great.
And that's it.
Thanks, Joel.
Janet, can I say one other thing?
Yeah, of course.
I wanna publicly thank the members of my water board, because I don't do that often enough. Mike LaFontaine, Jack Dawson, Steve LePage, and Mike Bayshard. And Mike is a numbers guy, and he scrutinizes things, and he does amazing things with the O&M, combining it with the town's numbers, so, I would be remiss if I did not publicly thank them for the work that they do. Mike LaFontaine works his magic with coming up with the raw cost of water. And every year he has to explain to me again how he does it, because that's not my forte, but I would be remiss if I did not thank them for the work that they do in this.
I'll add thanks to that too.
Yes.
You know, it's very intense, as Joel's saying too. Yeah, it's a lot. I have no idea.
But
And we
they,
are trying to keep things affordable
yes, exactly.
for everybody.
Right,
Yeah,
right, and we scrutinize all of that very
Mhm.
carefully.
yeah. All right, report from the clerk treasurer.
Evelyn has their December reports, the expense and revenues.
Yep.
Any questions?
Is that in our box?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have that. I didn't pull that other sheet out of my box.
I can do it for you.
Thank you. Anyone have any questions on that? Sorry for the pause, but I got here super early and didn't go in to get the, thanks. Thank you. As, you know, as long as we were just talking about the water expenses, so, I mean, I would say to the board, and the public can understand this too, the abstract of the vouchers is, you know, broken down by general water and sewer. So if you look at the water expenses for this month, you can see a lot of that does go into the water plant expenses, which then gets all tallied in those charts, those spreadsheets. And then sometimes you might see a big expense, for example, at the bottom where you've got the $670 clamp expense. That's the repair bands that are used, so that would not go into the water plant expenditures, but it will give you kind of an overview month by month of what we're spending at that plant. So no questions? Do we have transfers that we have to
We
do
do.
first?
Do we wanna do A, F, and G, or we just wanna do them all together?
We could do them together.
Okay, so we have to pay back the state for the restitution for our fill cleanup. So to A 8666.4, property maintenance restitution to New York State, $5,000. From A 599, the fund balance, $5,000. Our insurance was a little higher than we anticipated. So A 1910.4, unallocated insurance, $275. From A 9060.8, hospital and medical expense, $275. From F our two F1910.4 unallocated insurance, $155. From F9060.8 hospital and medical expense, $155. And G1910.4 unallocated insurance, $232. From G9060.8 hospital and medical expense. And to G8130.4 treatment and disposal contractual, $15,000. From G599 fund balance, $15,000. This, in this account is our electricity, and contractual expenses at the sewer plant. But because we spent so much money in tipping fees when we had to clean out the bay, it ended up making that account short.
Yeah.
So this, we're hoping is gonna hold us through, and right now the expenses for the, electricity bills are high in the winter.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's just because they're cleaning, or they've been working, or, but, anyway, that's our transfers.
okay, so, let's see, we need a motion to approve these transfers.
So moved.
And a second,
Second.
any questions, discussion? Roll call?
Trustee Trombley.
Aye.
Trustee Malinsky.
Aye.
Trustee Connor.
Aye.
Trustee Herzog.
Aye.
Mayor McFetrich.
Aye.
We also have, two bills for the main water line replacement. Fiscal advisors, $250.50, and Barton and LaJudas, $832.50, for a total of $1,083. Do we wanna do them together?
No, they should be done separately. Okay, normally I would go to the warrant and then do those two, so that's okay. So, could I have a motion to, pay these two from the project money for water line?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions? Roll call?
Trustee Trombley.
Aye.
Trustee Malinsky.
Aye.
Trustee Connor.
Aye.
Trustee Herzog.
Aye.
Mayor McFetrich.
Aye.
We also have two invoices for the wastewater treatment plant project. Paris's excavating, $72,575.25, and Barton and LaJudas, $7,147.31, for a total of $79,722.56.
May I have a motion to approve this?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Sorry.
Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion? Roll call?
Trustee Trombley.
Aye.
Trustee Malinsky.
Aye.
Trustee Connor.
Aye.
Trustee Herzog.
Aye.
Mayor McFetrich.
Aye.
Okay, now the warrant. We have additional invoices of $9,554.55, for a total warrant of $71,647.94.
May I have a motion to approve the warrant?
So moved.
Second.
All right, discussion?
This one here includes our insurance.
Yeah,
Yeah, I saw that in
Oof.
there.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's a really big warrant.
Yeah.
All right, no questions? All right, roll call?
Trustee Trombley.
Aye.
Trustee Malinsky.
Aye.
Trustee Connor.
Aye.
Trustee Herzog.
Aye.
Mayor McFetrich.
Aye. All right, thank you for that, Wanda. Report from the superintendent, I have Mike's report here. I've been busy as usual. He did ask me to announce to the public that they have picked up 3 loads of Christmas trees, and they have taken them to local goats who are feasting.
Good.
And the last pickup will be on January 12th, which is this Friday. So if you want your tree picked up, have it out by the curb before, well, on January 12th, but in the morning. I don't know if anyone else has any questions. I'm not going to read this whole thing.
I do wanna say they did a great job with the grates at the bottom of Prospect Street.
Yes.
My bus used to rock and roll when I went over that, and I would wait for traffic so I could swing way out, cause I was always afraid, Mike said I could end up pushing it in further,
Yeah.
but they did a great job with that. It's really nice, nice and smooth.
We did have one water break on Church Street. The wastewater plant upgrades are moving along. The grit removal will start up this Wednesday. That's exciting. Again, the streets need to be kept clear for plowing. So to the board, Mike's got some information for you, numbered 1, 2, and 3. Does everyone see that part of this?
Which one, I'm sorry?
So it's, here are a few things I will have to make expenditures for.
Yeah.
Okay, so number 1 is one that needs to be done right away. He needs to order parts to repair the Main Street lift station vault. This will be check valves, plug shut-off valves, and a high-mac couplings. The total cost is $23,000. He has been notified that there will be a 3% price increase starting January 15th, which I believe is Sunday. So he would like to order parts this week. This is something we have to take care of. We've been kind of trying to Band-Aid it for a long time, and that's not going to work. So I do need a motion to approve this expenditure.
So moved.
And a second.
Second.
Any discussion? He did give me some price quotes for the plug valve and cushion cylinder check valve and the swing check pneumatic cylinder. So I do have quotes on those. So he would like to approve up to $23,000. No discussion, questions?
I'll just order it so we don't get charged 3% more.
I know, yeah, 3% on that amount of money.
Yeah, it's a good chunk.
Yeah, right. Roll call?
Trustee Trombley.
Aye.
Trustee Malinsky.
Aye.
Trustee Connor.
Aye.
Trustee Herzog.
Aye.
Chairman Petrick.
Aye.
Thank God it's,
And then
Yes,
the other
yes.
ones, just, just for your information, the 2016 pickup truck needs some repair. And several of our vehicles need new safety strobe lights. So those are things that he's going to have to take care of soon. But the first one was the most important. All right. Correspondence?
Letter of support for San Jose Champlain History Center grant. Correspondence to owner of 10 Canal Street regarding code violations. Correspondence from Clinton County Soil and Water regarding the village's receipt of the salt reduction mini grant, which was $1,500. So that was half the price of the blades.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Under new business, we have the award of bids for the vehicles. So as you know, we had the 2000 International Dump Truck and Plow out to bid and the 2008 Ford F-250 pickup truck out to bid. We received 3 bids on the 2008. The high bidder, I guess, is Robert Friedrich, $989.89. And then on the 2000, we had 1 bid come in. That bid is for $1,879.99, and that also is to Robert Friedrich. So we opened these on December 22nd as announced, and I need a motion to accept the 2 bids from Robert Friedrich.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call?
Trustee Trombley.
Aye.
Trustee Malinsky.
Aye.
Trustee Connor.
Aye.
Trustee Herzog.
Aye.
Mayor McFetrich.
Aye. Next, we had the polling place and time, polling place and time of the 2024 elections, Village of Champlain. Whereas the next village election for offices of the Village of Champlain, New York will be held on March 19th, 2024, and whereas the Board of Trustees of said village must designate by resolution the polling place and hours which the polls shall be open per section 15-104-3B of the State of New York election law, then be it therefore resolved that the Board of Trustees of the Village of Champlain has determined that the polling place shall be at the Village of Champlain office, 11104 Route 9, Champlain, New York, with the polls being open from 12 noon to 9 p.m. And be it further resolved that as required by section 15-104-3B of the state election law, notice of said village polling place and time, the polls will be open, be given at least 60 days prior to said election date. This resolution shall take effect immediately. May I have a motion to accept?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call?
Trustee Trombley.
Aye.
Trustee Malinsky.
Aye.
Trustee Connor.
Aye.
Trustee Herzog.
Aye.
Mayor McFetrich.
Aye. Let's see, we announced the decorating contest winners. Thank you for doing that, Nikki. Local law, the vacant property registration. We haven't progressed much on this, but I'm going to, primarily for the public, just read a little bit about this idea. A vacant and abandoned property registration, because vacant and abandoned buildings cause adverse impacts on the public health, safety, and general welfare of the community. The purpose of this proposed local law will be to identify and register vacant buildings to speed the rehabilitation process. The owners of vacant buildings will have to submit a plan for approval and pay a fee. The details will be worked out during the upcoming months. So just a general discussion among the board maybe, about how to progress with this, if you're in favor of this. I know we discussed it real briefly during our other meeting, but what do you all think?
I think it's a good idea.
Great idea.
Yeah, we should proceed with it, for sure.
Okay, all right. Hopefully I can work with our village lawyer and we can get this moving. The city of Plattsburgh just adopted a similar type local law, which is basically just compiling a list of vacant properties through the owners. They register, there's a fee, and then you have to have a plan, either a plan of rehabilitation, a plan of demolition, or if you plan on leaving it vacant, why would you leave it vacant? So just to let the public know, this is something we would like to pursue. Anyone want to add anything?
I think it's gonna help the village greatly with some of these
I think so
properties.
too. I think so too. And you know, really, we have to think about the housing market. We have people who can't find a place to live. And we have some buildings that could be rehabilitated.
Right.
So let's put the two together and have some housing available.
I agree.
Okay. I do have a couple of other things that aren't on your agenda, but they're not long. I gave you a copy of the code enforcement shared service agreement with the town. It's very straightforward. There are a couple of new things. The salary, of course, has gone up. I did ask for a breakdown of the fees because they're listed, but I don't know how much is in each category, so I'm in section 4-41. And then also they're going to start, or we are going to start using a code software system. So we will be paying a third of that, which is $2,162. But that should really assist Chris in doing his job, rather than having files of paper. I gave this to you at the very last minute, but is there anything in here that you, are concerned about, that you think needs to be changed? It's still, 8 hours per week. One slight change will be that he will not necessarily be in the office sitting at a desk for 4 hours, but he will always come in and meet with me and check in with Juanita and Mary on any concerns going on, and he's very accessible through his cell phone.
Well, I'm glad to see that we're going to move into the century with using something with software
Yes.
instead
Yeah.
of everything being paper.
Yeah, we have a lot of paper here, don't we, Mary?
Shredded monthly.
All right, well, are you comfortable with me, how do you want me to do this? Do you want me to send out the breakdown of the annual fee, which we pay in 4 installments? Or are you comfortable with it not knowing how the breakdown is and just having me sign it? I guess I need a motion, and then we can discuss it.
I make a motion that we approve the shared services agreement for code enforcement.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, do you want to know the breakdown of the fee, the annual fee, before I sign it? Or it is up from last year by 12,000, I mean 1,200,
1,300.
by 1,300. And I know there is a salary increase, and I would assume the health insurance probably went up.
But if you look at any one of these things,
Yeah.
and
they're all
you,
increased.
yeah, everything
Yeah.
has gone up, so the fact that it only went up $1,300,
That's not bad.
yeah. I don't mind getting a breakdown after.
Okay, it's completely up to you how you want me to proceed. I mean, I can sign it, or I can wait to get it and email it to you, or I can get it and email it to you, but just go ahead and sign it,
Sign it.
sign it.
I'm fine with you signing it.
Yes.
I think it's something that we need to do, I mean, it's not like we can just say, well, we don't wanna do
No
it.
Right.
motions here.
Right,
So, yeah, go ahead.
okay, so we have the motion on the table. I don't think we need roll call to sign an agreement, no. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. All right, thank you. Okay, I am going to appoint Ashleen McCarthy to the Zoning Board of Appeals. They live on Spruce Street, very committed to the Village of Champlain, and she's very excited to serve, so I'm going to make that appointment tonight. Is that all I have? Let's see. Under new business? Yes. Under old business, I'm sorry to say that the dog law is still tabled. It's not through lack of trying. I can't get an answer on it. I've called, I've emailed. I should see the lawyer on Wednesday, so I'm hoping a face-to-face will result in some action. The building permit fees, we had our work session. I think we're all in agreement, but let's have a motion to accept these new building fees.
So,
Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion. Let me just say to the public that the Village of Champlain building permit fees have not been changed since 2005. So we're at almost 20 years. And there are a couple of categories that were added that we did not have before, including fencing, solar, and an annual inspection. Those were added to the list. And otherwise, everything else was just changed slightly. Any other discussion? Nope. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The service line inventory, last month I did, talk to the public about the need possibly to be going into people's homes to check their service lines, for this inventory that we're required to do. Mary can add to this if you want to, but it appears that Mike Joliker has hundreds, maybe, of photos of the service lines because of when he put the meters in. Am I correct?
That's what you said, yeah.
So, once we go through those, it's going to really narrow down how many homes we actually have to go into. Not to say this isn't still a ton of work, it will be, but it looks like we do have some of the or maybe even a lot of the information already. Which is good.
Yes.
And Mary, can you add anything to that? I know you and Mike have talked about it a little bit more.
Not really, no.
No? He showed me a few pictures. It sounds like it should be good, we just have to get, everything set up to be able to plug in the information. All right. Anything else?
I got one question.
Yeah,
Any progress on hiring a new employee?
we have another interview scheduled for tomorrow. So, we'll see how that goes, and then we'll see if we're ready to make a decision.
Is that the one that has the CDL?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, if there's no other business,
I have one question.
oh yes,
Budget,
the budget.
have we,
We have not, we talked about this the other day, starting working on, usually Juanita does the salary part first,
Mhm.
and then we sit down and start working on the actual
I
budget.
do as much as I can before, yeah,
Right.
and the salary is a big part of it.
only
Yeah.
because I wasn't here last month's meeting, so I didn't know if there was any discussion on that.
No, I'm
So,
gonna start working on it next week, I'll
Yeah.
get your water report done. I'll start working on, cause Janet's gone next week, so I'll start working on the budget, and then the week after that, we'll start,
Okay.
mhm.
And very soon we'll have to start thinking about union contract,
I know, I thought of that today,
so
so you
You
and
and
I
I
should do that, we should start that by the end of this month.
I agree. Okay,
Okay.
I just wanna keep it on the,
Yeah, oh yeah,
keep it on the burner there.
I can hardly wait.
I know, it's exciting.
Thanks, Kim.
You're welcome.
All right, I'll take a motion to adjourn if you have nothing
So moved.
else. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
7:20.
Opposed, motion carries. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you for leaving the water for